in Brooklyn. They are calling it an accident waiting to happen.
As we told you last week, low-grade radioactive waste is being stored in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn until New York State can come up with a permanent storage site. The company that handles this facility is called Radiac, and some of the people who live near the facility have come forward with home videotape they say illustrates their fears.
Here it is, loading hazardous waste and low-level radioactive waste right on this heavy truck traffic route. And you can see that it just is, it's a very flimsy safety device that they have. This kind of operation on the same block as a school, a city school, it just is sitting there waiting for some explosion or some fire or some kind of accident to happen.
According to the environmental group, the Radioactive Waste Campaign, if one of these barrels, routinely moved here at street level daily, were to fall off and break open onto the pavement, this area could suffer serious contamination.
The first time that I've seen the Latinos and the Hasidics work together was last year for the Radiac public meeting, which was held in PS 84, the school a block away from Radiac.
Let's declare war. Williamsburg against Radiac.
Communities, Latino, African American, and Hasidic communities coming together in Williamsburg for the first time. Our children joining hands, Hasidic children and Latino teenagers.
And we are united. We'll use whatever means to make sure that an incinerator will not be built in our community.
It's wonderful to see so many people here, different backgrounds and ethnicity, all together as one. United.
We recently had a town meeting in Williamsburg with 1,200 people, and there were blacks there, there were Latinos, there were Hasis, there were white artists, all together in the same neighborhood, but who really had never come together in a community setting. And they were all sitting together. That was something that really encouraged me to continue doing this type of work, because I realized that this is an issue that everybody cares about equally.
Communities all over the country are working on these issues, not just the West Harlem community, not just the Community Coalition for Clean Air in the South Bronx or El Puente, Toxic Avengers, and Greenpoint, Williamsburg, but all over this country, communities of color are mobilizing to fight this kind of practice. And we've begun to band together as a unified movement, which we call ourselves the Environmental Justice Movement.
If you're looking for a leader, then you better take a look in the mirror, because the people lead and the leaders follow.
And I really have to start training myself, and people have to start training themselves not to waste so much, and to start getting accustomed to reusing things, to not buy certain products because it's overpackaged or because it's not healthy for the environment.
Lies have conspired, while fires are burning, for 12 months or more. The animals are in danger. Mother Nature is a stranger. Wow, do we measure nuclear waste? Electric cars and solar TV, forgetting the things that we need. And if we still don't understand, the information is at your hands. So make demands, demands in this world we would like to see. Convenience is the enemy. Oh, precious land, you're in the wrong hands.
I think they should also talk to kids, also, you know, to see what they think. Opinion, yeah, because you know we're the future generation, you know, so they should ask us how we feel before they make a decision. That's why we're here to tell them about this.
When you slurp your Slurpee in a Dixie cup, always pick every piece of litter up. Recycle cans, paper, and plastic. Call your politician, ask for it.
There's tremendous inequity, tremendous disparity out there, and that's what environmental justice is all about, and how to make sure that everybody gets equal treatment, has the right to health and clean air, clean water. And those are what this tour is about.
There's no one way to talk about these issues, and each community has added a layer to the story. And I think that's really the important thing to recognize about environmental justice, is that it's about environmental health and it's also about social justice.
We're bringing this message to America. We're bringing this message to those communities most affected, and we're letting them know that they're connected. It's not only here, it's from the Southwest, it's from the far West up through the South and the far West. And we're letting them know, we're letting America know that this is an issue. It's not going to go away. We're not going to let it go away, and we're going to continue.
You know, I'm a physician, and I'm in this because I'm concerned that so many health problems that we see are related to the environment. Yet there's not much being done to address the environmental issues that are causing low-income people and people of color to be disproportionately affected by health. The cancer, the asthma, the diabetes, which is associated with dioxin, which can be from burning plastics and other incinerators. And people aren't making those kinds of connections between, everybody knows that they see a lot more asthma now than they did 10 years ago, but they don't connect that to the smokestack that's next door and all of these new chemicals that are being burned.
We're here on the bus, on the tour. We're talking to each other. Sometimes we try to anticipate what we're going to say, and then we get off the bus and we see enthusiastic crowds or strong response from individuals who are so glad to see us. They deliver their message, we deliver our message, and then we get back on the bus, and then we go to the next community, and we say, well, we talk about, what we saw, how this connects to everything that we're doing. Then we get back on the bus and we go to another community. And each time it's been amazing. It's been amazing, from panel discussions to real live rallies where people were, cheering, glad that we were there, to, super informational kinds of activities. These have been a tremendous learning experience, I would think, for all of us. I know it has been for me.
My home is north of the landfill that we have in Hartford, and the smell and the odors that we get from it does affect my breathing. I've called in numerous times. We have a call number where you call when there's a certain odor, when you smell, and I've known to be one of those people that keep calling to, let it know that they need to look into what's going on. But there are different things that causes the air not to be clean and fit for our children and our elderly people too. And as for me, myself, I suffer with a respiratory problem, and I do have breathing problems. I think this is going to be the rest of what lifetime I have. My doctor told me it's an ongoing thing. I have no set time of not using it. I was even told that I'm from the West Indies and I want to go home and I can't travel by air anymore. I was terminated from flying because of this. And, it's just one of the things that I'm so interested in, environmental justice and everything that happens to our health, because I'm a true product of the outcome of it.
incidence of asthma in this community is much higher than it is in other communities. This transfer station and the carcinogens and all the stuff that come out of here could be a part of the air that they breathe. Yeah, the young people have to walk through here to get to Mason School, get to Emerson, and they're exposed to all of this. And so we are making sure that the uses that still exist here are properly regulated and that they're upgraded so that there is no effort to, keep our kids safe.
Give me an idea of what I just looked at. I saw a scrap metal, I saw a transfer. About how many are we talking about that was right there? And then approximately, how many blocks away do people actually live from here? And the school you were talking about too.
Originally, there were 32 transfer stations operating in this area that you've just drove through. 32. 16 of those, as I recall, were operating without a proper license. And as a result, operating without a proper license meant that they could do anything they wanted to do, unregulated, not having to answer to anybody. And largely that happened because the area was not populated as it is now, not developed as it is now. And as orchard gardens exist over there, they were not even taken into account as to what the effect would be on those folks who live there. As I said, the incidence of asthma in that development and in the general community is far higher than it is in any other community in Boston.
I don't know the area. How far is Orchard Gardens from here?
Orchard Gardens is a half a block from here, sir.
And the period we're talking about, they had 2,000 people living in that development, half of whom were under 17 years of age.
Any day that it rained or any day that the wind was really high, you could smell the odor all the way into the housing development. And the children would, of course, who attended Mason School would have to walk from the local housing development, 3 blocks, all the way through this odor, and then there was, of course, big rats, because we had an issue with rats in the housing development at that time. But because of the dump there and the food and all the garbage, there was also all these rats that were there. And so the city was trying to deal with the rat issue, but nobody at that time, before the task force, got the organizers to really address the issue of what we need to be doing is removing this dump site and getting something done about all this trash.
And they've done a lot, but it needs constant vigilance, and it just shows that once you have a victory, you can't say that's it. But you have to keep being vigilant, make sure that the laws are enforced. And basically, it's the whole thing of you have to keep the community organized. You can't just organize once and say it's over. You have to keep organizing each generation.
Umba, umba,